Saturday, May 18th at 7:15 p.m. at Desert Song Healing Arts Center. See the documentary Walk With Me, A Journey into Mindfulness featuring Thich Nhat Hanh, narrated by Benedict Cumberbatch. This is a joint presentation from our friends at Phoenix Film Collective and Desert Song Healing Arts Center. Its tickets are $8, and the event features a 30-minute stretching and breathing session before the film. You can get your tickets at desertsongyoga.com or phxfilmcollective.com. That's phxfilmcollective.com. I'm very proud of the fact that I got the date right this time. All right, let's get into the show. Hey there, everyone. Thanks for listening to Limited Engagement. I'm your host for the show, Jared Duran, and this is LE112. That's right, we've done 112 episodes of this show. I've done. Who's the we? There's no we in this. I'm recording it, producing it, editing it, booking the interviews, doing all of it. I've done 112 episodes. Put credit where credit is due. I'm not a vain individual. I'm not somebody who wants to steal credit from anybody. But you know what? When it's due, I feel like I should take it. It's a lot of work. I think it's possible that I woke up on the slightly grumpy side of the bed this morning. But it's my mom's birthday as I'm recording this, so happy birthday, Mom. And I was rudely awoken by my awful new neighbors and their yippee fucking dog. I like dogs. I like animals in general. Many of you are familiar with Susu and my stories with that cat and Gizmo. And I am, generally speaking, an animal person, a dog person, a cat person. And it's not the dog's fault. I blame the owners. Blame is squarely on the owners. It's like with kids, right? I say as not having had any myself and having no plans to. It's wisdom corner from the non-parent here. You can't usually blame a poorly behaved kid. You gotta blame the parents. Always blame the parents. That's what therapy teaches us, right? Did I mention happy birthday, Mom? I turned out all right. I've got my issues. I own them. But anyway, so who did I talk to this week? I talked to Lena Hansen, who records and tours under the name Violet Days. Violet Days is a band from pop band from Stockholm. You should check them out. They are at violetdays.com. If you like smartly crafted, well produced pop music, this is right up your alley. So you should check that out. They were opening for a band at the Van Buren, and I got to go down there and talk to her, and she's super nice. And very excited to be on her first tour through the country. So we'll get to that in a second there. So it's really kind of a wild time right now. I feel it's kind of it's just a crazy place to be in, right? And I'm not referring back to neighbors and yippy dogs. It's this whole starting over kind of thing. You know, as I've been public about a relationship ending and going through some shit, and there's all this talk about a new chapter, and it doesn't feel that way. It feels like I'm in another book, but it's like one where I haven't written the outline. I have no idea what's going on. I'm just kind of working things out as I go. And I know, I don't know. Some people seem to have it all figured out. And I thought I had it all figured out. But as time goes by, as years pass, it seems like I've got nothing figured out. A lot of the time it feels like I'm just kind of winging it. And I'm a pessimist. I think that I often plan for the worst, and hope isn't figured in there anywhere. So when things happen, and when good things happen, it's a pretty constant state of disbelief and shock. And I'm examining where I am in life right now. I'm doing this just as on the fly as I'm living. Sitting here in this new place with the terrible neighbors and yippy dog. Maybe they nip, who knows? And it's a Sunday morning, late Sunday morning for me. I'm usually a pretty early riser. And, but I'm sitting at this desk. I'm recording this intro. I'm looking at the one bookcase I have right now, staring at all of these music books and film books and records, and thinking about all the books I've still got in boxes, and all the CDs that I've got in boxes, and all the stuff I have to do to put this place together. Posters need framing. My Elvis poster needs reframing because the glass cracked. And I'm genuinely feeling like this is a period of time where I'm figuring out, that sounds stupid and cliche, but I'm figuring out me for the first time. And in with that, it's been, at this point, it's been months since the end of our relationship, and I sort of arrived at the conclusion that I don't. I'm 36. I don't want kids. I'm really, despite the dog and the neighbors and their awfulness, I like where I'm at. It's a little small. There's really just enough space for me and the cat. And my stuff takes up the rest of it. And I'm liking that. I'm liking the idea of having that be what that is for a while. And maybe for the rest of my life. I'm grumpy. I'm in my head a lot. I like my space. I like being left alone for most of the time. But I'm also an incurable romantic. I wish I could cure that. I wish there was a pill for it. But I don't know. So I'm also terrible at meeting people. I shouldn't say that. I meet people all the time. Met lots of people. But you know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about in a romantic sense. And so I entered the world of dating apps. I've never been on one before. I've tried a couple of them now. It's just all sorts of disheartening. Mostly because, despite the fact that what I do here is all about people and talking to people, for the most part, I don't like a lot of people. And when you get to know them, most of them just, I don't know, let you down in some way or another. So I don't have a lot of hope held out for that. But this weekend, I took a chance and decided to meet someone for coffee. And I went and saw a great show. I saw The Whole Story Part 9 over at the Phoenix Art Museum. And so we were chatting back and forth, this woman and myself, and I was like, well, this is where I'm going to be. If you want to meet for coffee afterwards or something. And she says, yeah. And so after the show gets out, and met up with some friends there, and was talking to them for a little while and having a pretty good time. And I'm thinking, you know what, maybe this woman's not going to show, or I'm fully prepared for it to be terrible. Even if we do meet, there's like nothing going to happen, no chemistry or anything like that. Again, just assume the worst is going to happen. And, when I say the worst in this case, it's a lark. You meet somebody, you figure out whether or not you click in any way, shape, or form. And but she's there, and I'm there, and I've always kind of thought of myself as not an impulsive person, but when I sit back and think about it, I am all impulse. And I when I do make decisions, I don't know, I get to a point where I'm just like, I'm done overthinking something, and I just make a choice. And so I sit down with her for a second, and it's insane. There's just like some instant sort of connection, and I'm not going to go into all of it, but as a, Seinfeld quote, yada, 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 we ended up just talking for a long time, walking around, and we were like hanging out until like 3 a.m, and it was just really good. And I don't know, I'm not a super spiritual person, I'm agnostic, I guess. And I do think there are some mysteries to the world, some things you just can't explain. And this is one of those things where just you know that things feel, I don't know, there's good conversation, there's things vibe well. And then so we decided to go out again last night, and it was the same thing. It was good again. And there was this frank, open discussion. And I was up front. I'm like, I'm really not interested in, I don't think I ever want to get married again. Don't want kids. I like having my own space now, so I don't really want to move in with anybody. And it's not, I don't know. It felt like we were on the same wavelength. And then we go back to her car. Her car won't start. Walk her to her car won't start. I am not a car guy. It rarely comes up. But of course, it does this time. Her car won't start. So, call roadside assistance. It's already at this point pretty late. It's like 1 a.m. or so. And so I wait there with her for the tow truck. And I don't know, even that was good too. I don't know why I'm going on about this. This was my story for the week. It's one of those things, it's like just terrible cliche. You start off with ideas that things are going to go one way, and then they just